Hello, hello. Welcome back. Oh my goodness, we've made it to module 5. For those that have been with us the whole time, congratulations. That's a huge lift. For those that have jumped in different places, awesome. I'm glad that you made the most of this course in ways that are helpful for you. So what I want to do as we are sort of wrapping things up, getting to the end of module 5, getting to the end of this course, or these different components, or the end implies that you've gone in sequence, but at some point we need to think about like, what are our next steps? How do we design for implementation, for practice, thinking through all of those different pieces? So there are many components of this project, and it's been going for quite a long time. So we've had 23 faculty across the country implement it, and we are so excited that that number is increasing now that you are participating in this course and are going to take it forward into your classroom. We've had over 300 pre-service teachers, undergraduates across the country go through these materials, participate in these activities, and also give us feedback on them and complete some instruments so we could keep refining them, all these things. Oh my goodness, I'm getting so excited. I'm knocking my computer off the table. And we've seen incredible improvement in the pre-service teachers' self-efficacy for working with and teaching with STEM data, their own skills of their own exploratory data skills have increased, sort of all these things that we were hoping for and interested in going after, right? There's a big sense of all these different pieces that go into working with and making sense of data. And what we saw is that by focusing in on these exploratory data skills components, we not only deepened and broadened pre-service teachers' understanding of those skills themselves and how to teach them, but also we saw this spillover effect in that faculty reported that their students analyzing and interpreting the data also increased. We also saw benefits and it enhanced that. And so this hypothesis we had of like, well, if we just dig in and focus in on exploratory data skills, supplementing it into a methods class, does that provide a boost to our students' data skills, our pre-service teachers' data skills themselves, and their confidence of going forward and teaching? And the answer is yes, we are seeing that across the board. So what we were able to do is sort of provide a bit of the early novice of like, okay, kind of how to we, not entire novice, though we spent a lot of time talking with our pre-service teachers on, so what would this look like in your classroom? What of these things would you want to do with your students? What are these things could you adapt to use with your future students? Or what are these things that, no, this is for you to hold as their teacher, but we're creating other opportunities for your future students to practice those skills with no emphasis on perfection, right? Progress over perfection, working towards building, practicing, deepening our skills, not working of a like, check the box, we have mastered that, because, oh man, that takes a while. And sort of just that reminder of it's not an either or, it's a both and that's what we were really seeing through our practice and our implementations across these different cohorts, across these different institutions and teacher prep programs, is that when we lean into creating opportunities for exploring data and talking about how exploring data and explaining with data is different but necessary, and how these stitch together in this whole big umbrella of we've got data coming in and we're trying to figure out what the meaning is coming out of it, that these two components, exploring and explaining, are both really important pieces. We need to create opportunities for our pre-service teachers and their future students to practice both. So before we get into sort of reviewing all the different things, I highly encourage you to kind of pause the recording and think about some of these things for yourself. How may you help your pre-service teachers understand what exploratory skills are, data skills are? We've talked through a variety of different resources, activities, reference guides, all the things that we have compiled and worked on and refined over the last couple of years with our 20 plus faculty, but it is not an exhaustive list. And there are other things. So on your list, it might be some of the resources that you've experienced in the course, some of the things that you're already using. Maybe there's another thing that you want to go look for to be able to pull in. But just how might you, just generally, beyond like individual specific things, how do you want to make this a priority going forward in your course for your pre-service teachers? And how many of these activities, resources could help your pre-service teachers have a different learning experience to change their own level of data skills, to influence how they teach their future students? What's that opportunity? What's the return on investment for creating, using these kinds of activities for your pre-service teachers themselves and their future students going forward? Okay, there was a lot we were trying to accomplish in this ADVizE project in terms of looking at the skills and self-efficacy of pre-service teachers to teach with STEM data in their courses. We had a variety of exploratory data and question asking skills, resources, activities, as well as activities and reflection prompts and ways that those resources were built out to influence the self-efficacy of the pre-service teachers, as well as we were trying to figure out what are effective ways to support you and other faculty members, teacher prep faculty, to develop skills and self-efficacy in your pre-service teachers. So it resulted in a wide range of materials. And I just sort of want to go through this to kind of, it's all here in the course, but like, what is it we actually did? What are these materials that I could be using? So we've got a range of our hands-on activities that really focus in on specific data skills that we were seeing in our classes and in our alpha and beta pilots that pre-service teachers were really struggling with. And so diving deeper into those. Data organization, graph type matrix. How do we get comfortable exploring an unfamiliar data set? Nonsense data activity to think about how we sequence our lessons. And the building blocks activity with discussion on how do we sort of move forward and think about teaching with STEM data. We also have the hands-on opportunity to work with data. So either data that the students collected themselves and or data they accessed from online data portals. And baked into both of those or either of them was this repetition and iteration, norm setting and modeling, where they would work with, explore, visualize the data, receive feedback, peer-to-peer mentoring, and then go back and revise and refine what they were doing with their data. Again, not for the final product, but to elevate the process of working with and exploring the data. We talked about the portfolios and the showcases that really anchor this experience for pre-service teachers in the process and celebrating the process and the growth that we have and doing it publicly so that we can learn from one another and celebrate each other along the way as we build that sense of community. There are the NASA subject matter expert videos where we worked with folks at NASA to get them to talk about, well, what do they do when they're doing exploratory data analysis to norm set that this is a huge part of authentically working with data, these exploratory data skills that the pre-service teachers were working on and thinking about bringing into their future classrooms. Speaking of future classrooms, we have our classroom videos where we could look at what does it look like in a classroom? Let's think about what do we like? What do we want to mimic? What would we maybe try to adapt or adjust in our future classrooms going forward? So all of those pieces kind of fit in to build out this sequence or this ecosystem, I should say, of the ADVizE project and all these different moving pieces that we were pulling together. And we've been so excited to pull them together for you in this asynchronous course on the Canvas Commons. Super excited to hear your feedback and really excited to hear where you take it and how it goes with your pre-service teachers. There are some additional resources that I just want to kind of give you a little bit of a sense of what they are. They came up in different parts throughout our project, and we're sharing them in case it's helpful. So some of our faculty felt like, okay, I want to take the approach that Mel took in the Alpha pilot of like doing different sessions. So we're providing a session sequence suggestion on how to set this up as 5 different sessions. Also, there's some of our faculty we worked with as they refined and adapted and built out a like, what's work they should do coming into a class period where we're going to do some of the activities. So this could be active practice, it could be watching some of the mini lectures, it could be reflection prompts about that active practice. So there's mini lectures, and we've compiled them all together, both of what some of our faculty were doing stepping into a class period that had some of these activities, as well as and or homework stepping out of a class period that had some of these activities. So what are some reflection prompts that folks were putting in their learning management system to have their pre-service teachers focus on? As you know, we have focused on exploratory data skills, and we've talked about some, but certainly not all of them here in this course, and that we packed in because a methods class is just already so packed. So there's just only so much we can put in. But I did want to share out that I write the Data Literacy 101 articles for NSTA's Science Scope, where we cover a wide range of exploratory data skills, as well as explanatory data skills or confirmatory data skills, and how to do that in a classroom. What does that actually look like? So we've provided a link there for you, as well as I did a deeper dive into how do we pick technologies and what technologies might we want to use in grades 2 through 5. So we'll share that as well. That is shared in the course. So we're really hoping that you can sort of see yourself as the agent of change that you are as you're promoting different ways for your pre-service teachers as future teachers to teach data skills to their future students. And we hope along the way that you sort of gained access to new resources, new ideas, new ways to adapt what you're currently using or leverage the resources and activities that we've put together. Thank you so much for what you do. And we just are so honored to play a part in this incredible work that you do with your pre-service teachers and their future students. Just a reminder, our exploratory data skills are critical for working with data, but are often overlooked and undertaught in our K-12 system. So that means our pre-service teachers might be coming in, or your pre-service teachers might be coming in like ours and those of our project, that they don't have as much confidence and comfort or ability working in those skills. So we can kind of broaden and deepen their own skills and prepare them to go forward and help their future students gain them in their K-12 experience the way our pre-service teachers didn't fully have that opportunity to as they were going through. And lastly, because this is all about next steps, utilize, leverage, adapt, build from any and all of those verbs from these resources and activities that we've provided in the course. We are so excited to, as I said, see where you take this, see how it goes with your students. And with that, let's jump in and think about like, where do you want to go? How do you want to take this? Use the resources in the asset, use your checklist that you've been using along the way. Let's like put pen to paper and see how this is going to go. Or maybe now we're all in the digital space with our learning management systems, but you know what I'm going for. It's been a pleasure working with you, connecting with you through this course. I wish you a fantastic rest of your day and good luck bringing exploratory data skills into your courses. Thanks for everything you do. Bye.